Hey guys, Dr. Kayu here and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be doing the final installment of this What If, and that is what if Naruto was raised by the Sage of Six Paths. Final. Now as usual guys, if you guys can please like and subscribe, leave your comments down below, leave the bell notification on so you guys can be the first to get my new content, and of course guys, if you guys can follow me on Discord, just copy and paste the link that's in the description, add it on Discord, add me, and if it's still pending, I'll add you around 8 to 8:30 PM New Zealand Standard Time or in the morning when I do my recording, okay guys? And not only that, big shout out to the bro Rowdy bro for suggesting this What If. You're the man, my bro. Appreciate that you actually gave me this idea. I actually had fun with this, so thank you my bro, shout out to you my man. And not only that guys, if you guys stay tuned, at the end of this video I'll tell you what's the next What If that's gonna be coming out, okay guys? So yeah, stay tuned. Without further ado guys, let's finish off this last of this What If Naruto was raised by the Sage of Six Paths. Final, okay? So let's begin. Now I'm going to give a brief recap on what happened previously on the last episode, and we'll jump into the next part, okay guys? Final part anyway. And so what happened previously is Naruto pretty much blitzed through the war arc, and pretty much the situation with Naruto, the last day he actually blitzed through that as well, easy as. Not only that, when it came to the part where Momoshiki and Kinshiki appeared on Earth, Naruto was not going to have it at all actually. He was not going to have any of the interference, nor have them try to do what they were meant to do in canon. Instead, thanks to the Kage, they put a barrier around the entire tuning area, and both Naruto and Sasuke, with their powers alone, they defeated them easily. Naruto ripped out Urushiki's spirit pretty much and found that everything he knew. And not only that, Sasuke did the same with Kinshiki. But both of them doing that, they unlocked higher powers that they didn't expect they would unlock. Sasuke's Rinnegan evolved so much, and so did Naruto's. And so they became even more powerful than they should be at this time anyway, so practically making them both slightly immortal in a sense. Now when it came to fighting Momoshiki, Momoshiki had no real leg to stand on, and he tried to fight, but Naruto and Sasuke weren't having that. And they did a form of seal where Naruto pretty much split Momoshiki's chakra up and recreated all the Nine Tails chakra using Momoshiki's body, and also recreated extra Geno statue which Naruto sealed within Sasuke. And so all the tail beasts in the world are all released again with 50% of their chakra added from Momoshiki and Naruto's chakra, okay? So Naruto still has all the tail beasts within him, 90% of each tail beast within him, but now there's 50% of each of the other tail beasts that are out there thanks to the divide of Momoshiki's chakra, okay? And so from there, we begin our story. So right after the battle with Momoshiki and while they invading Otsutsuki's, Naruto and Sasuke understood that the world is coming to a huge change, massively to be honest, and Naruto and Sasuke have dramatically changed themselves. Like, they've become more godlike than they expected, to be honest. They thought that with their powers they weren't going to be or feel like gods, but thanks to what they did in this battle, they became more like gods, and as such they slightly lost touch with the world in a sense due to their power. Well, not much Naruto, but Sasuke did. Only for a brief moment, but because Itachi actually put Sasuke in his place and made him realize, bro, you're no god, G, you're still my little brother. And so Sasuke learned from Itachi. He understood that with their great power comes great responsibilities, Spider-Man quote. But anyway, so as the story progressed with it, Boruto, Sarada and Shisui, they actually are quite astonished in how difference in power they all have compared to their dads. And not only that, Boruto is quite obsessed with the idea of all the tailed beasts that Naruto re-released in the world. And speaking of all tailed beasts, they go back to the lands they once inhabited, and thanks to the Kage, all the tailed beasts are protected in each of the realms, you know, because before they were only used as weapons, nothing more. And so all the Kages have pledged that they will protect the tailed beasts. But they still inquire about one thing upon making a unified Kage leader. And Naruto looks and goes, well, what do you mean? And they talk about how back when Jiraiya was Hokage, that they had the idea, that's why they made the Hokage government, the Kage government, but they needed a unified leader instead of it split or divided. Naruto goes, right now, it would be best if we just sort out our situations when it comes to the tuning exams and moving forward with the shinobis that we have all together. And not only that, we should be hard pressed in actually training our students to become more stronger, not by bloodlust or by anger or by power or stuff like that. No, by teaching them the right way, you know. And that's why I did send the Tail Beast out there, so the Tail Beast can at least be a guiding force to teach all the students of the future. And that's when all the Kage get it, because each Tail Beast have unique abilities, you know. Like Shukaku has Magnet Release. He lives in the land of wind, you know. He's perfect for the sand. All of them have their own unique abilities that they can teach people. Isabu goes to the Hidden Mist Village because it works out in his favor, you know. And so all the world actually likes this idea. They like the approach that Naruto has given them. So they build not like temples for the tailed beast, but they build slight like big areas. So when students go to train and learn around, they can learn from the tailed beast sages. That's what Naruto renamed them. They still called tailed beast, but he names them sages because, well, they are the children of the sages past practically. The tailed beasts like this opportunity. They like this opportunity not to be used, but to be learned from, be taught, you know, history, how to utilize abilities. So people that have a unique chakra nature, they'll go to this and this and this. So it helps with the upkeep with society. And so the tailed beasts love this idea, this opportunity. But Kurama doesn't want to leave Naruto. He states that despite him liking his freedom, it's annoying, it's quite boring, to be honest. And unfortunately Kyuki is the same, but Naruto goes, I already have, to be honest, enough of you within me. Which Kurama laughs, and he goes, time to be free. You've been subjugated by our people for far too long, Kurama. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your freedom. Maybe you could teach people about rage, who knows. Kurama looks at Naruto like, really, you fool? And so they all leave, they all scatter around the world and they do their own thing. Bear in mind, Naruto can summon them at any time to talk, discuss plans, or blah blah blah. And so that works even further. Not only that, Naruto teaches all the other villagers how to do that telepathic communication over vast distances, and they make it a Kage ability. So all Kages that progress over the period of time, they become Kage or don't, they all learn this ability, this one ability they learn so they can talk to each other individually. And so they enter into like a form of mindscape where it looks like a 5 Kage summit, you know. And so they discuss and move plans forward, and that's what they do. But the problem they all face is with the feudal laws of the land, and this is the problem that this is one of the main problems that they're actually going to have. The Land of Fire feudal lord, or the new one, does not like the fact that Naruto is seen as a god figure. He doesn't like that Naruto is his whole narrative is he's the peace of the world. He's just pretty much God, you know. And so they actually conspire. All the feudal lords of the major lands conspire. Like the Hidden Cloud feudal lord conspired because they lost their Jinchuriki. It's one of their main power sources. And knowing that the Raikage is so willingly given into the Land of Fire, like all of them don't like what is happening with the narrative that has been progressed around this world. Shinobi students running around the world rampant doing this and that, learning from beasts, creatures that are weapons of mass destruction. They don't like it at all. And this is when they all fall under the gaze of Kara. Now, one thing that has dramatically changed is Kara itself, okay? Due to the fact that Naruto and Sasuke are practically gods, Ishiki notes that if he was to reveal himself or even resurrect in Kara, Naruto and Sasuke will sense him. And not only that, Ishiki believes that he can't take them two, individually or together. And so he has to think of a way to try and lower their power, at least do something. And so Ishiki plans to reseal all the tail beasts within him, to take all the tail beasts and absorb with their chakra, so he can at least level the playing field against one of them at least. And so Ishiki or / Jigen, just for the idea, guys, I'm just gonna say Ishiki because I hate saying Jigen. And so Ishiki works on his plan to build up his alliances, build up his army, build up his ideas. They steal the Hashirama cell, but they do it really hidden this time. They don't do it stupidly. And none of that new God Tree none of that situation actually happens. Nah, none of that Boruto series does. But Deeper and them all exist though, and they work on espionage. And knowing that, thanks to the cloning effort and growing of DNA using Hashirama cells, Kawaki is born much more stronger. To be honest, even when I mean born, he has been infused with chakra, reborn with a stronger body, and his karma seal is locked in properly. Not only that, thanks to the fact that they know how Orochimaru's techniques work properly because they ransacked Orochimaru's bases, and they found all the stuff they need to help with Kawaki's body regenerating, strength, like helps with the transformation, everything like that. Even what's it called, Kashin Koji, he still exists. Kashin Koji still exists. Delta does as well. Amado, he just makes sure he powers everyone up. But not only that, Amado also cloned Orochimaru. This is one thing that came into existence, the cloning of Orochimaru. And so when he is revived, he still has that same aspirations to become immortal. Well, that's what Amado was counting on. Now, basically, Amado creates Kashin Koji and I'm just gonna say Orochi, not Orochimaru, Orochi, as deterrents to kill Ishiki if Naruto and Sasuke can't do it. And so what he does is he uses the Hashirama sounds to program and make them all stronger. Bear in mind, Jiraiya and Tsunade are still old, but they're absolutely retired, okay? And so, as Naruto, Sasuke are doing their thing, you know, Naruto is pretty much the god of the Hidden Leaf. The world around him was moving against him dramatically. Naruto hears that his name has been made smug in normal human villages, normal town villages, due to the fact that the feudal lords spreading lies, or the council of the feudal lord is spreading lies upon Naruto, Sasuke, and the Kage. And it's happening really bad to the point where the Hidden Stone Shinobi village is actually getting pressed hard by taxes, by escalating hikes of money, you know, everything really hard, to the point where the Tsuchikage gets a hold of Naruto. Naruto sees the same thing, all the Kage see the same thing in their village, and this is when Naruto realizes someone making plans against them. And so Naruto goes, I'll go see our feudal lord and see what is up. I suggest you guys all do the same. Bear in mind, you guys should take good guards just in case I don't think I feel safe with this current climate. And they all agree. So Naruto goes, he takes his own bodyguards, of course, and his bodyguards being Sasuke. That's pretty much all he needs, really. But Naruto technically doesn't need a bodyguard, but just per Kage recommendations, Naruto should take one, so he just takes Sasuke, to be honest. And Shikamaru, because Shikamaru is the man at strategy. And so as they leave, Shikamaru explains to Naruto that due to the escalating problems that are happening, they don't know when it's spreading, but Shikamaru has found something interesting. With Itachi being out learning, gathering intel, he found a new organization. An organization that's been around for a long time, watching from the shadows, watching the rise and the fall of the Akatsuki, everything. Naruto's like, who's that? And he goes, Kara. And he goes, Kara. And yeah, Naruto goes, yeah. Now I remember you telling me upon the Karma Seal, and that when the Otsutsuki's died and everything, well, I believe that has everything to do with it. And bear in mind, when Naruto leaves the village, this is when Boro attacks. No, not Boro, the other one, that zombie guy that eats people and practically makes himself super strong. What happens is Naruto, Sasuke, and Shikamaru leave, and they go off to meet the feudal lord. And the Hidden Leaf gets slightly attacked, hiddenly, of course. Sasuke, Sarada, Boruto, and Shisui deal with the threat pretty easily. Shisui's genjutsu is like off the charts, you know, like he easily surpasses Sarada. And his Shuriken Jutsu is really great, to the point where he actually can do powerful seals. Bear in mind, Naruto sees Shisui Uchiha as a family, just like Sarada, he sees him as family. And because Karen is an Uzumaki, Naruto taught Shisui how to do some Uzumaki seals. And Shisui became very good at it, okay? Boruto didn't really take to the idea of seals, he was more of a blunt or brute force fighter. And bear in mind, Boruto has the Sharingan just like Shisui and Sarada. So they're pretty much Team Sharingan, to be honest, not Team 7. But what's good about them is, thanks to Naruto and Sasuke's abilities, Naruto used the Sun Seal on all three of them to remove the idea of the Mangekyo Sharingan. The notion that they need to lose someone they love deeply to activate it. Naruto actually still ties it to the idea of them, their happy emotions more to the bad. Sasuke states that it's not a good idea to change it, but Naruto goes, it's more better than going blind, right? All they need to do is evolve their eyes to Eternal Mangekyo. And Sasuke likes the idea. And so with both the Sun and Moon Seals, they were able to bypass all the weaknesses of the Sharingan and the Mangekyo. So when they evolve their eyes, it will go straight to the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, not the Mangekyo. But it still comes as a strenuous task regardless of how they go. So Shisui, Boruto and Sarada, they go on their man missions and they take on their zombie man and they pretty much take him out. because Boruto is so much more powerful now, his Razengans are so much more stronger. And bear in mind, Zarada knows how to do, she easily knows how to do the Chidori as well. So when they attack, Zarada does actually Naruto's move, the extreme discharge jutsu, pinning him in place. Shisui uses a powerful genjutsu to lock him in a paralyzed state, and when Boruto comes, he does his own massive compressed Rasengan. He makes the Rasengan as big as his enemy, and then compresses it and slams into his gut. But this time, instead of him surviving, Sarada jumps out of the way, and what happens? Boruto kills him, completely destroys him. They take his body back and they go to investigate and interrogate and they find situations out. Bear in mind, Boruto does not have the Karma Seal. Okay. That's one definite. No one has the Karma Seal. Momoshiki will never come back to life. So with that situation already averted, Ishiki gets made aware of the situation with the 3 kids and how powerful they are. And he goes, he's gonna watch them carefully. But when I mean watch them carefully, he's going to interfere. And so he sends Delta and Kashin Koji and Orochi to investigate all the villages around the world. He actually splits Kara up to investigate as much as he can and finds the tail beast. But he states that he will do them, he will take their chakra himself. He will forcefully take their chakra himself. And so they go to investigate, and over a period of time, Orochi and Kashin Koji, they feel a familiarity between each other, as if for some reason they are connected by something. But what happens is they work together, and in the shadows they easily be able to move against them, move against everyone. No one knows nothing. And so as that arc is progressing, Naruto, Sasuke and Shikamaru make it to the feudal lord's office, but their entry is denied immediately. Naruto goes, "I'm the Hokage of the Hidden Leaf. I come to talk to the feudal lord upon matters of the state." And he goes, "Unfortunately, Lord Hokage, thanks to the uncertainty of this new climate, the feudal lord is not accepting any requests by you or anyone from Shinobi world." Naruto said, "Well, what do you mean? We are in response to the feudal lord. Like, I don't understand." And this is when the main feudal lord's successor comes and goes, "Due to the notion that Naruto that the world sees you as a god, sees you more as a leader than the feudal lord lord has no choice but to wash his hands of the hidden leaf." Naruto looks at him and says, "What?" And he goes, "You have 90 days to disseminate your entire shinobi force. Either leave the village or you guys will be your village will be attacked. Everything taken." Naruto's like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "There's been a united front with all feudal lords." Naruto's like, "What?" Like they're all taken back. Shikamaru's in shock too. And Naruto goes, I will not drum up a sense of war after a hard fought peace. What's going on? Like, why are you doing this?" And the successor states, "We are not doing this. This is you're doing, Naruto Uzumaki. You want to play God and strip the power of the feudal lord, make him look weak in front of the people. This is what you get." Naruto goes, "Well, my village is not going to go nowhere, and I won't take no unnecessary threats if that's the case." And so Naruto, Sasuke, Shikamaru walk away. Shikamaru goes, "Naruto, are you serious upon allowing this to happen?" Naruto goes, "I'm not going to allow nothing to happen. I don't care about the feudal lord. He is not going to threaten the peace that I worked so hard, everyone before us worked so hard to achieve." Shikamaru goes, "I understand." And so Naruto goes, "And not only that, the fact that all this upheaval was because of me. If it wasn't for me and Sasuke doing what we need to, everyone would be dead. This world would be gone. The feudal lords wouldn't exist." And Naruto gets really annoyed. Naruto waves his hand and opens a time-space portal. All 3 of them jump through and head back to the Hidden Leaf. The moment they leave, Deepa arrives at the land of Fire Feudal Lord. And what happens is he gives engineered specs to help upgrade all their whip soldiers to have ninja tools, part of Kara's ninja tech, like Delta's ability to absorb chakra, and not only that, also Deepa's ability to project metal. Those are the main thing, and regenerative abilities from their old fella. And so those are the things they sell to the feudal lord, and all the feudal lords, Kara goes around in the background and sells them all. So they make a giant army. They have the ability to absorb chakra to an extent, have the ability to create ninja tools from their bodies. Not only that, has the ability to regenerate their wounds on their command, and can shoot metal projectiles out of their body. So the feudal laws are working against them, but this is working well for Ishiki, because once Kashin Koji and Orochi return back to to Kara. Bear in mind, this is months and months have gone by since the defeat of Momoshiki, so this is like a couple of months have gone by, and knowing that the world has adapted, the shinobi world has adapted to the idea that the tail beasts are pretty much a protected species. So when Ishiki gets all the information he needs, he goes from 1 to 8 immediately, because he doesn't know where the Kuruma, he doesn't know where the Nine-Tails beast has been hidden. He doesn't, or the shrine for the Nine-Tails, which actually annoys him. And so what goes down is right away, Ishiki teleports away. He teleports to the realm where he has his own 10 tails, and he goes, "I'm gonna need some chakra from you." His own 10 tails tries to attack him, but he goes, "There's a time and a place for that beast." So using this chakra, he takes as much chakra as he can from his own from the 10 tails, and he teleports back to the Earth realm. What he didn't realize though, that someone was already there watching him, and that someone being Sasuke Uchiha. Now Sasuke already had tabs on this area, and he saw the 10 tails creature, but he didn't want to do nothing yet. He learned already, thanks to Momoshiki Kinshiki, that there was possibly someone else that was here in this world. And so Naruto and Sasuke look at everything, or Sasuke looks and remarks upon this person that's chakra is enormous, to the point where he actually could possibly rival Sasuke. Not Naruto, but Sasuke at least. So Sasuke teleports back to the Hidden Leaf Village, and he explains everything what he saw. And Naruto goes, "Another 10 tails?" Yes, and Naruto goes, "I believe that person that he saw may be the leader of that organization, Kara." Naruto goes, "Do you believe he's powerful enough to take us?" And Sasuke goes, He's actually, I believe, near my levels, Naruto." Naruto goes, "I understand." And so what should we do? And as this is all going down, reports are all around the world from all the Kages coming to Naruto immediately, stating that there's been incidents with actual civilian people's fighting a lot of the shinobi villages, shinobi tuning, killing kids, killing the people that go to Naruto's like, "What?" And when the Raikage explains, Darui, the Raikage explains that he has managed to catch a few of them, and these are just civilians with pretty much the strength of Kage level people, in a sense. Well, them Kage anyway, have the ability to absorb chakra and everything, but thanks to Darui's sword, he's able to easily dismantle them. They're able to regenerate they're able to regenerate to an extent, but what happens is Darui, thanks to his own unique abilities, he's able to take down the majority of them, and they learned from them that they were paid and organized by a rogue benefactor, but the main name they could all understand is Amado. And so Naruto's like, he's so shocked, and he instantly turns and goes, "Shikamaru, where's the kids now?" Shikamaru understands that his own children are out there. Now all the other factions of the Hidden Leaf Village children are out in the world, and he states, "Well, Boruto or Team 7 of them are already out as well." With Konohama and I was like, "No." And as this goes down, the Zeppelin incident happens where it crashes, and the vessel Kawaki gets he's actually found. Now what ends up happening is Boruto and them went there far, to be honest, but Shisui, thanks to him being the tactician out of the group, he tells them to hold, wait. Boruto is still impatient, slightly, but he listens to his bro Shisui, because Shisui's the oldest of all of them. And so when they wait, Konohama goes to investigate, and of course straight away he's attacked. But he's attacked by some random Kara shinobi, who pretty much takes the place of Ao. And as the battle commences, Konohama has a main battle to the point where he actually takes him out. But this is when Kashin Koji, the same as the canon, he interferes. When Kashin Koji interferes, he looks at them. Now this time though, Kawaki has not woken up yet, and there's no reason to. He's still knocked out. And so when Kashin Koji appears with his turtle, immediately Konohama is put on the defensive. He fights this guy immediately and gets pushed back to the point where his life is almost in danger until Shisui interferes, placing a powerful genjutsu on him. Now it doesn't work 100%, but it's able to distract Kashin Koji enough for Sada to immediately use her super strength to punch him away, sends him flying. But when she sends him flying, she actually cracks the mask that he's wearing, and as he hits the wall, he manages to get up. Boruto appears like lightning, and he does his own Jidori, slams his fist into the wall, but Kashin Koji was able to flip away. But the Jidori itself blows up the whole side of the hill, and as Boruto looks up, he spots the face, and he's like, Jiraiya, Grandpa Jiraiya? And he sees that, and he instantly does his massive fire style to attack them. And doing so, when the fire style appears, Konohamaru immediately appears and does the best he can to stop it by doing the biggest Rasengan he can. And he chucks the Rasengan, blocking the majority of the fire style, but he actually burns his body up to the point where he actually dies from the attack. Boruto saves his team, but he gets engulfed by the unstoppable flames, and it actually kills him. And when Kashin Koji sees this, pathetic, he lands down and goes, "You little brats are able to break my mask. Now you guys see my face, you must die." The moment that happens, Boruto pulls a kunai out, knowing that he never wanted to ever use this, but he pulls a kunai and chucks it straight on the ground. The moment he chucks it on the ground, Naruto senses it and teleports straight to Boruto, picks it up and says, "Boruto!" He looks right up and he sees him, he's like, "Jiraiya." And Kashin Koji looks at Naruto and understands this guy is way above his pay grade. He tries to disappear, but Naruto already appears right in front of him. He goes, "Hoo-ha!" And Kashin Koji tries to attack Naruto. Naruto grabs his face really fast, sweeps him, and throws him into the mountain. And then Naruto puts a form of curse seal around him, locking him in place. He goes, "You're not going nowhere until you answer my question. Who the hell are you? You're not Jiraiya." And as the seal goes around his body, Kashin Koji, before his chakra runs out, he does the same thing what he does with Ishiki. And he tries his luck and summons the flame, the imperishable flame from the mountain that actually is not chakra based, it's nature based. Well, not nature energy, it's natural. And when Naruto gets hit by this jutsu, at first he tries to absorb it, but he realizes, this is actually all natural. And then Naruto slams his hands together and uses his chakra, blows the fire out immediately. When Kashin Koji sees this, he realizes maybe if he used this against Ishiki, he would have died. Naruto then activates his Rinnegan, pulls Kashin Koji in with him, and when Naruto sees Konohamaru, it makes him cry. He picks up Konohamaru as well. He tells all three of them, "All three of you, come here." And Boruto goes, "Dad, there's another one over here." But that's when the other Kara member comes, the one that has the giant flamethrower cannon. And Naruto looks right over, and as he shoots it at at Team 7, Naruto sees this. He makes a shadow clone in a blink of an eye, but it's not just a normal shadow clone. It's a real powerful one. And it appears right in front of them. He absorbs the attack, and Naruto dispels it. And out of anger, Naruto gets really angry and immediately powers up Risen Biju Bomb. Immediately appears right in front of him, and it's like, "What the?" But boom! Naruto slams his fist, his Biju Rasengan right into the Kara member, destroys the entire body, shoots it, and it does a massive Biju Bomb, blown up. Now when Kashin Koji sees this, he's like, "What the hell?" And Naruto's like, "You bastards think you can come and do this? You try to attack my son?" Naruto starts to crush Kashin Koji's throat, and he's held in place. He can't do nothing. And Naruto's got him a seal. Naruto just throws him on the ground immediately, and that's when Boruto goes, "Dad, there's another kid over here." Naruto walks over and sees the kid, and when Kawaki gets up and he sees Naruto, he instantly goes to try to attack Naruto. Naruto notices that the Karma seal activates and appears over Kawaki's body, and Naruto goes, "Karma." And what happens is Kawaki goes to attack Naruto with his augmented body parts, or his blade that he creates on his arm. Naruto doesn't move. Instead, Naruto activates some of his chakra mode, or a little bit of his chakra mode, and as Kawaki hits Naruto's body, he actually breaks the blade on Naruto's body. It shatters. And I said, "What the?" And Naruto goes, "Interesting." Backhands Kawaki, and Kawaki pretty much blacks out from that one backhand. Naruto grabs Kawaki and goes, "You're coming with me too." And so what happens is Kashin Koji and Kawaki have been captured by Naruto, pretty much. Konohamaru is also taken back with Team 7. Now as they leave, Delta sees this and so does Orochi. Orochi is like, "Interesting. The Hokage is more powerful than I expected." He licks his lips and goes, "But immortality is still within my grasp." Delta is a loyal soldier, and she goes back to tell, Ishiki everything. Now back to Ishiki. Ishiki went to the hidden sand village and he found Shikaku straight away, and he put a sealing jutsu. Understanding that Naruto has a connection to them, he put a sealing jutsu on the area that Shikaku is hiding, and he absorbs Shikaku, and he uses his Karma seal to absorb all of Shikaku within him, taking all his power and killing Shikaku in the process by absorbing all his power. He goes 1 down, and by this time he's collected 1 tails, 2 tails, 3 tails, 4 tails, and the 5 tails without Naruto noticing, because Naruto was fighting Kashikoji and and capturing Kawaki. And so when Naruto gets back to the village, Naruto chucks Kashikoji down, and this is when Sasuke and the interrogation team have their way with him. Now Kashikoji has redundancies to prevent people from interrogating him. Naruto goes, well, it's a simple matter of just ripping your soul out then, isn't it? And Kashikoji goes, no, you can't. Naruto rips out Kashikoji's soul and immediately understands. He learns everything from Karo, what they plan on doing, what they're doing, and what was the point of Kashikoji being born. When Naruto finds out that Kashikoji was created to kill Ishiki, Naruto immediately he put the soul that he took from Kashikoji back into his body and released his body. Kashikoji goes, what did you do? What did you do? And Naruto goes, I learned everything from you. That's what I did. And just to note that you were created to kill Ishiki Otsutsuki. How interesting. Another more powerful Otsutsuki lives on Earth and has been living on this Earth for this whole time. Naruto goes, I must meet this Amaru guy. But I must do this without Ishiki knowing. Sasuke walks over to Kashikoji and immediately just puts him under a powerful genjutsu, holding him in place. Kashikoji is pretty much nimble, and knowing that, Naruto finds out that this kid right here is, what's his name? Kashikoji's Kama. Or, Kashikoji, Ishiki Otsutsuki's Kama. And so Naruto, Sasuke goes, should we kill him? Naruto goes, we should. At the same time, this kid would have been me. And Sasuke goes, what do you mean? He goes, Sasuke, if the old man didn't save me and help me, then I believe I would have went through the same type of torture as this kid. Naruto leans down when Kawaki wakes up. He sees Naruto. Naruto goes, hello Kawaki, nice to meet you. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. And at first, what's his name? Kawaki is still in the defensive, you know. He wants to protect himself from Naruto, but Naruto goes, there's no need for that. I won't hurt you. I promise you. And what happens is Boruto, Sarada, and Shisui see them. And because this Boruto is not so bratty, he's actually got Naruto's happy tendencies, you know. He's very powerful nonetheless, this Boruto. Very powerful. His chakra levels are like the old kid Naruto. So he's very, very powerful. And so what happens is Kawaki adapts with his life with living with Naruto. He adapts with the idea of what they do and everything like that. And he gets the idea that Naruto, without trying, surpasses Ishiki by miles. And he actually can feel that just looking at Naruto, judging by his power. And that Sasuke is probably Ishiki's match, if not a bit stronger. And so, as everything for them goes down, Ishiki finds out after he absorbs the 5 tails that his vessel has disappeared. By Delta, he's like, what the hell? He summons all the Kara members. All the Kara members are already out helping all the villagers, and actually a lot of them become optimistic and opportunists, and they begin to want to rebel against Jigen as well, thanks to Amaru's programming. Amaru is smart. He put it in all of them in the back of their minds. And so what happens is Jigen's quite pissed off. He feels betrayed, and so he still has a mission to complete. His body can't take it, but once he resurrects within Kawaki's body, he can put all this power within him, and he can at least finally equal Naruto. But no one really knows how strong Naruto can be. The only one that can actually gauge the idea on how strong Naruto can be, besides Sasuke, is the Sage 6 Plus. Because this Naruto is so much more powerful, so much more stronger, that, to be honest, no one really stands a chance against Naruto. And so, as Jigen now with Ishiki rushes now to attack all the tail beasts, this is when Naruto gets told by the 6, 7, 8 tails that something's happening. But when Naruto goes to converse with them, the 6 tails disappears, and right after that the 7 tails. When Naruto's like, what the hell? Naruto immediately tries to summon the 8 tails, but just like that, the 8 tails disappears. But this is when Naruto uses his chakra ability to summon Kurama, the other piece of Kurama that he chucked out there. And Kurama's like, Naruto, did you? Naruto, yeah, I did feel it. Why am I so blind to this? What's happening? And this is when Kurama states, they're probably doing some unique jutsu to hide it from you, Naruto. Naruto goes, it's too dangerous for you to be out here now. And he goes, well, that's alright. And Naruto goes, I think I should take you back in. And Kurama goes, yeah, but it's a little bit cramped, isn't it? And Naruto goes, yeah. He tells him when he talks to Hinata, and he tells Hinata that he has a plan, but he needs her approval. And she goes, very well. And so what happens is Naruto tells what's his name, Boruto, to come to him. Naruto tells Boruto that he's going to be the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, the new Nine Tails. He's young and experienced, but come on. And Kurama's like, another Uzumaki. Oh, well, very well. See how this goes. And Boruto goes, are you sure, Dad? He goes, it's just to keep Kurama safe, that's all, Boruto. Boruto, okay, Dad. Naruto reads the 8 tetragram seal and pushes on Boruto's stomach, and then turning it, and he touches Kurama's leg. He teleports Kurama within Boruto, sealing him in place, but not locking him behind the cage, just protecting him with the cage. The cage hides his chakra and protects him, and knowing that just in case they need backup to protect against Ishiki, Boruto can grow up to get stronger too. He's still got his own Rinnegan or Eternal Mangekyo and Rinnegan to activate and upgrade, so that goes about too. So with Kurama being sealed within Boruto, Naruto goes up, and this is when the villagers are all being attacked by the army that Deepa and them created to attack the villagers with the feudal lords. Now bear in mind, these are thousands upon thousands of soldiers. When Naruto sees that they've been attacked by these people, Naruto realizes no one used chakra. These guys can absorb chakra, chakra or jutsu. And all of them look at Naruto and say, how are we gonna beat them? Naruto's like, he's really furious. He can't fight them all front. Well, he can, but he knows if he gets too distracted, then his village can get attacked. So immediately Naruto goes into his chakra mode, his 6-path sage mode, real powerful. And then without even hesitating, Naruto makes shadow clones, but not just 1,000, like good 5,000 shadow clones. And then Naruto, without hesitating, wipes out all the feudal lords' army, knowing that these are augmented humans, not how they were. And he like without hesitation, Naruto wipes them all out, suppresses them immediately, and wipes them all out. And then without even hesitating, the real Naruto makes portals for all of them to go. He separates it into 1,000. 1,000 of the shadow clones go to the hidden cloud, 1,000 to the hidden mist, 1,000 to the hidden stone, 1,000 to the hidden sand village, and then 1,000 here stays in the land of fire. And doing so, Naruto makes sure he protects all their borders, because bear in mind, Naruto is thinking about the world Kage, or the idea of them being protected. And as this is going down, Sasuke is still investigating. He's trying to figure out where all the tail beasts are getting missing, and he actually catches up with Ishiki. Sasuke lands out of a portal, and Ishiki goes, Sasuke Uchiha. Naruto stands up and goes, so you're Jigen. And what happens is, as they stand there, they're actually near the land, the hidden sound village, not far from there. Sasuke goes, I knew I'd catch up with you. Seeing how you are, you're quite powerful. And this is when Jigen activates his full karma seal on his body, and the horn grows. And he goes, now that I've absorbed these tail beasts, I think I'm near your equal. If not, I think I'm stronger. And Sasuke goes, you should not assume nothing. Sasuke immediately activates his power as well, activating his full Rinnegan, Tall Mode Rinnegan. And not only that, Sasuke immediately goes into his own form of Sage Mode. Bear in mind, he still has the Moon Seal. And knowing that he learned perfect Sage Mode from Naruto as well, so he's really powerful, this Sasuke. And knowing that he has his own chakra well to draw from the Gero statue. And so when Sasuke activates his own Susanoo chakra mode, he's actually really powerful. When Ishiki sees this, he's actually taken aback from the power that they both had. Sasuke goes, I think we're a little bit even, don't you think? And what happens, Jigen smiles. This is going to be interesting. Immediately they begin their battle. And to be honest, each clash is like a thunder, earthquake breaking the ground. Each swipe of the Sasuke sword, each swipe of Jigen's hand, that they're cracking all the entire area, to the point when Jigen chucks the shrunken chakra rods and throws them at Sasuke. At first they take him off guard, to the point where Sasuke has to go on the defensive immediately. But the moment Sasuke learns upon this technique, he immediately powers up, catches the weapons, crushes them immediately, and then Sasuke summons his own true second orbs and chucks them at Jigen. When Jigen sees that Sasuke has his own abilities, Jigen actually jumps back to try to jump away to fight Sasuke. And Sasuke immediately begins to overwhelm him, press him, to be honest, with the fact where Jigen actually gets hurt by Sasuke. Sasuke kicks him, slices him, and immediately hurts Jigen to the point where Sasuke is actually going to kill him. When this Jigen states that he has enough, and he fully resurrects himself, Ishiki fully resurrects himself within Jigen's body, and doing so, it showed the big gap between Sasuke and Jigen, or Ishiki. Ishiki goes, this is better, and then Sasuke sees his opening, he chucks the Amaterasu to cause a gap. When Sasuke sees Ishiki's power, he realizes he's been toying with me this whole time. Without hesitating, Sasuke opens a portal, jumps back into that portal, disappearing, and Sasuke lands by Naruto. When he lands by Naruto, Sasuke goes, Naruto, that man, that guy Ishiki. Naruto's like, what? Naruto goes, he's coming. Naruto goes, I'm a bit busy right now, Sasuke, dealing with the war. The feudal lords have attacked all the hidden villages around the world, and I'm trying to help them. They can't use jutsu. Bear in mind, all the Naruto clones are wiping out all the upgraded versions of the augmented humans. They're pretty much as powerful as Delta. And speaking of Delta, she immediately rushes into the village, tries to go past one of the shadow clones, but the shadow clone Naruto chucks a true second orb. She tries to absorb it, but Naruto doesn't allow it, and it turns into a spike, killing her immediately. And then Naruto realizes that these guys were programmed to kill all these augmented humans, so Naruto breathes in sadly and knows that he has to wipe them all out, so he does. He focuses on all his shadow clones, and it makes all the shadow clones wipe out every single augmented human that's battling, destroying the village, trying to destroy the villages. Bear in mind, they were doing sufficient amount of damage to the hidden shinobi villages, of course, but having Naruto appear made it much easier for them to repel and protect themselves, and having Naruto also there, the clones, he was able to wipe out the majority of all of them single-handedly, to be honest. And the Raikage, all of them are happy upon this, but this is when they realized that all of this was drummed up by their feudal lords. They didn't know what to do. Naruto states that all that they can do is try to talk and reason. This war is out of nothing. It's not necessary for the world. If we fall into dissemination and we subjugate the normal people, what makes us better than Madara and all them? All the Kage agree. But this is when they talk to Naruto upon Naruto being the leader of all the Kage. Naruto goes, what? And he goes, you shouldn't just be the leader of the Hidden Leaf Village. Your power alone is protecting all of us. And as they're talking about this, Naruto senses something massive. A gigantic cube is about to drop on the Hidden Leaf. Naruto tells everyone he'll call them all back. Naruto turns around, and as he does so, he releases all the thousands of shadow clones around the world. Naruto goes into full power 6-power Sage mode and destroys the giant cube. Immediately, he activates his Rinnegan, and Naruto flies up. And what happens is, this is when fully powered Ishiki appears, and he goes, I see that you hid the power of the Nine Tails within your son. How ingenious, Seventh-tailed Kage. Naruto goes, Ishiki or Sasuke, and he goes, not only that, you stolen my vessel. I can't sense him anywhere. Naruto goes, well, that's obvious. I removed the Karma Seal from his body a while back. He's like, what the? And Naruto goes, now it's just me fighting you. Ishiki looks at Naruto like, you dare? And Naruto goes, I see that you're more powerful than you led off to believe. Not to worry though, me and Sasuke can easily handle you. And in that moment, Ishiki uses his time-space ability to teleport him and Naruto away. And they appear in the dimension where Naruto got sealed in the first place. And when Naruto lands there, Naruto's like, interesting. He looks right at Ishiki. Ishiki goes, Ishiki puts a seal on the ground and goes, me and you are fighting here right now. I will kill you and take all your power. Naruto goes, you believe I'm at my full power right now because I'm showing this chakra mode, right? Naruto goes, I haven't revealed my full power. I've never revealed my full power because it's been insufficient to fight anyone. And Ishiki goes, stop your babble, and they begin to battle. And as this battle commences, what ends up happening is more of Ishiki's augmented humans are still left, and instead of attacking all the other villages, they come to attack the Hidden Leaf after Ishiki takes Naruto away. And this is when Sasuke and the rest of the villagers begin to attack, begin to help. Now bear in mind, the Kurama that's in Boruto is way more willing to help, and he's not locked behind the cage. And so Sasuke begins to fight and help defeat them. What ends up happening is more people like Delta appear, more people like Orochi appear as well. And this is when Sasuke sees Orochimaru as well. The Orochimaru clone goes, how interesting. You just look like Orochimaru. And the clone licks his lips and goes, well, you very perceptive there, Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke is another person that annoys me by trying to tell me who trying to tell me? And Sasuke immediately, without hesitating, goes to fight him. And this Orochi is really powerful to the point where his abilities are augmented by like technological gains, and he can use the snakes to absorb chakra. So Sasuke has to be smart. He cuts the bioorganic snakes away, and he fights Orochi very preferably. And only that, all these augmented humans appear and go to attack the village. Without having Naruto there, it's not that they're sitting ducks. It's much harder for the village to protect themselves. And this is when Kurama tells Boruto, you're the only one possibly best to help. Itachi is here too, and he's going to be helping, but it's not Boruto. It's time for you to step up. And what happens to Boruto? What? And he goes, trust me, kid. Fist bump me. Boruto's like, alright, Kurama. They both fist bump, and immediately as they fist bump, it reminisces upon how Naruto and the actual Kurama on canon, they first fist bump and they share each other's emotions and each other's powers. And Boruto goes into KCM too, and he goes, I can only hold this ability for 5 minutes with you right now, Boruto. But we have to protect the village. He goes, right, Kurama. Boruto immediately appears, but he's told by Kurama not to use any jutsu-based attack. And Boruto, that's fine, I'll use my sword. And he immediately appears, and as Sasuke and Itachi is fending off the majority of the augmented humans, this is when Boruto comes and he makes 100 shadow clones with KCM, and they help fight the augmented. And when Sasuke sees this, he smiles. But behind Boruto, Sarada and Shisui appears. Shisui has this 3-timer Sharingan, and so does Sarada. Boruto has his Sharingan activated, of course, as well. And they're all fighting, they're doing their best, you know. But these augmented humans are more powerful than Sarada and Shisui could handle. And what happens is, when Sarada and Shisui were backed up and were about to get killed, Itachi appears and he activates Susanoo a little bit too slow, and he gets punctured. He doesn't get killed, but he gets punctured to the point where he looks like he's gonna die. Where both Sarada and Shisui sees this, even Sasuke sees this. Sasuke's had enough. He instantly activates his full power Susanoo, pulls a sword out and swipes them all, destroying half of them. But when Sarada and Shisui sees this, their eternal Mangekyo is activated immediately. And Shisui, without him hesitating, he speedbuts all of them. He activates what's his name? His mother's chakra chains, Karin's chakra chains, and they hit the ground. And he immediately throws chakra chains to all the augmented humans. Bear in mind, these are the last and the most powerful of Kara's augmented humans. And as they're killing them all, killing all the augments, Sarada immediately, without hesitation, she begins to use her abilities. She doesn't have Amaterasu, but she has a form of time-space jutsu, which she pretty much looks like she's teleported in and out. But this ability itself is powerful because it's not the fact that she's teleporting people to her. So whenever she's cut, so pretty much like her hits abilities are when he punches space and dimensions. She's doing the same, chucking shuriken kunai at certain parts of the areas, and they're appearing by augments, hitting them, blowing up behind them, like through time space themselves, hurting them immediately. And not only that, Sarada's abilities itself have become so increased that she's actually really powerful, and she begins to, like a prodigy, begins to manifest her Susanoo ribcage rapidly fast. Her anger towards these guys is super high. Shisui himself, when he sees his dad after that, he tries to heal his dad, but this is when Karin appears. She jumps down and makes Itachi bite his arm, and she tells her son to calm down, and Shisui calms down, pulls the chakra chains back in. Karin tells Itachi to bite her arm, and he heals. When Sasuke sees Karin there, he smiles, and he begins to fight all out, stomping all the augments, everything like that, and they take them out. Shisui begins to he disappears. He does a massive Scorch style attack, but it's like a normal Scorch style. So he actually rides a giant fire dragon. When Itachi sees this, it's reminiscent to Shisui's fire style, and he's actually quite impressed. But his old friend Shisui, but young Shisui rides it, jumps off it, and scatters them using his own shurikens. He has thousands of he makes thousands of shurikens and scatters them as massive fireballs. The augments try to absorb it, but the shurikens pin them all in the eyes. He actually kills 100 of them in the eyes. Bear in mind, there's lots of augments, okay, and these are the most powerful. And because Shisui is a master at shurikens, he's able to make them all scatter at the right moment to hit them all in the eyes where they can't regenerate, absorb chakra. And then without him hesitating, he instantly manifests the Susanoo. Well, not instantly where it's like massive, but manifests the ribcage and the arms, and sweeps them all around, cutting them in half. And when Itachi sees this, he immediately appears too and does the same. Now Boruto is doing massively well. his 100 shadow clones are doing massively well. And then what happens is, when he actually falls out of KCM, and he actually feels tired, what ends up happening is some augments go to attack him, but all Boruto can think is his family, the loved ones that he's going to lose. If he fails now, because his dad's not there, then he fails the world, he fails his mother, he fails everyone. He thinks of Himawari, his best friend Sarada, his best friend Shisui, and all his friends, and then without hesitating, unlike them, they had a different emotional response. Boruto opened his eyes, and his eyes evolved into Eternal Mangekyo, but in a different sense. And without hesitating, Boruto, but his Eternal Mangekyo looked like more like Renegon. And as the arguments come, Boruto screams, and this massive uproar chakra emerges, blowing everything away. And Boruto puts his hands together unintentionally, and doing so, wood style begins to appear out of the ground. Boruto's like, what the? Wood style? He had no time for this. He understands his jutsu that he can do, and he does wood style deep forest emergent. He just he doesn't know how he does it. He just chucks the chakra the attack at them, and this massive forest appears and starts to engulf all the rest of the augments. When Sasuke sees this, he jumps immediately to fly over it. He's like, what the? And then Boruto and Kurama smiles at Boruto and says, you got this, kid. And immediately Boruto doesn't know what he's doing, but he's focusing. He saw how Shisui did a fire dragon, so he thought, maybe I can do a dragon like that. Put his hands together and he focuses, and a giant wood dragon picks him up. Boruto's like, what the hell? And Sasuke goes, he's definitely a prodigy, unlike his dad. And Boruto smiles, but he's only sitting on top of it. What ends up happening is Sarada rushes to Boruto, her pink Susanoo ribcage manifest, and so does Shisui. He appears on Boruto as well. His yellow Susanoo ribcage is around him. And when they all appear, they all look at each other and realize that they're all unlocked in Mangekyo, and they all get ready. But instead of manifesting their full Susanoo, Sasuke comes in and ruins their fight for them. And when he comes out and swipes the rest of the augments, killing them immediately, Boruto started this, and Shisui are like, oh, come on, Uncle Sasuke. And Wasada's like, Dad, come on. Boruto and Shisui were like looking at Sasuke like, that's sad, we just, built up our hype, we just became, the Mangekyo team. Sasuke goes, you guys took too long. And what happens is Itachi smiles, and Itachi states that he's proud of all three of them for achieving such powers when him and Uncle Sasuke had that fight so hard to achieve. Sasuke smiles, and as they come down, Sasuke goes, I need to regain some of my chakra to go help Naruto. Itachi goes, where is Naruto? He's in the time space. But this is when Kurama states, I am connected with my other half, and Naruto's doing well, don't interfere, you'll only be in the way. And Sasuke goes, and he goes, I think it's best if you hear Sasuke to help the other villagers, if not quell the feudal lords. And Sasuke goes, right, Itachi, do you know? And then this is when Jiraiya appears, and Jiraiya states he knows exactly what the feudal lords are. They're in the land of fire, they're in the main palace. And so Jiraiya, Itachi, they leave, and Sasuke goes, I should come, brother. And he goes, no, I need you to protect the village, Sasuke. I need you to. As the previous Hokage, you need to listen. Sasuke looks at his brother, brother. And Itachi goes, too late. Him and Jiraiya disappear immediately, and they fly off. On Itachi's Susanoo, because Itachi can make a perfect Susanoo, and they fly to the main feudal lords area. And Sasuke's like, damn. And he goes, what he happens to do though, he takes Boruto, Sarada, and Shisui back in the village, and Karen, they all begin to try and help the villagers. Because Sarada can heal people. She's not as good as her mum, but she can heal. Sakura has been healing people, helping them all out in general. And they actually has a lot of casualties in the village, to be honest. And so a lot goes down. Now back with Naruto, Naruto and Ishiki have been having massive battles to the point where Ishiki was forced to drop thousands of massive cubes at Naruto. Naruto easily flies between all of them using his tree-seeking orbs to knock them away. He actually finds this amusing, and he goes to fight Ishiki. He managed to land one massive kick, sending him flying into one of his cubes. Naruto uses his Renegon to pick up one cube and chuck it at Ishiki. Ishiki's able to stop it, but Naruto immediately appears behind the cube and kicks it right into Ishiki, slamming Ishiki between two. And he's using all of his powers to try to separate him. He flips himself over, but Naruto already appears, uppercuts Ishiki right in the air. Naruto comes in front of him, smacks him down. Ishiki manages to flip around, and he goes, damn! He chucks thousands of micro chakra rods at Naruto, because Naruto hasn't seen this attack, only Sasuke has. And so when he makes them more big, Naruto sees them more immediately, and he uses his limbo clones to smack them away. And then Naruto uses a unique ability that he has, a time-space jutsu, where he pretty much freezes time and lands right on the ground. He speed blitzes and punches Ishiki in the gut, and then doing so, he releases the time skip ability pretty much, sent Ishiki flying. Now Ishiki is actually getting badly hurt. He didn't expect someone to be stronger than him, even in this form. Naruto immediately appears and does a massive attack, smacking him away. Ishiki understands that Naruto is smart. He's not going to use any form of jutsu-based fight attack at all. And then Naruto summons hundreds of true-seeking orbs and littles the ground with massive true-seeking explosions. And what happens is Ishiki manages to dodge as much as he can. Dodge. He teleports away, but Naruto teleports to the same exact space Ishiki appears. He's like, what the Naruto? Grabs his horn, knees him in the face, and uppercuts him in the air, sending him flying. Well, this is when Ishiki smiles and goes, I got you. He immediately chucks 50 chakra spikes, and Naruto actually gets caught by 2. And Ishiki tries to tether him to absorb the chakra. Naruto goes, nice attack. Naruto flexes, breaks the chakra rods on his body entirely. And Naruto goes, I've been hiding this true power from Sasuke. I've been hiding this power from everyone. The only one that actually knows his power is Gramps. So I will show you my true power now, Ishiki. You're a worthy fighter, but I think this is over. And bear in mind, I am going to kill you. But I'm not going to give you a karma to activate. Ishiki looks at Naruto. He goes, Propelling your inevitable Hokage is nothing. You think you're everything? Let's go. Naruto's like, you don't even make sense. Naruto closes his eyes, and closing his eyes, horns grow out of Naruto's head fully. What ends up happening is a slit comes down Naruto's head, and a third eye appears in Naruto, but it's a gold Rinnegan appears on Naruto's head, pretty reminiscent of Momoshiki. And as Naruto does this, his chakra explodes. What ends up happening is his aura goes white and then gold. Unlike the KCM state, well, none of that. Naruto's aura goes cold. He merges all the Tail Beast chakra together. Instead of having a 9-tailed avatar, he has a 6-pass full power. And when Ishiki looks at it, he's actually taken aback. He's actually looking at Naruto, goes, and he actually freezes on the spot. He's like, it's like I've been fighting. Oh God, this whole time Ishiki's actually trembling. Naruto looks at him and goes, this fight is over. Naruto appears right behind Ishiki. Ishiki's like, he freezes on the spot and he tries to turn around to react, but Naruto's already in front of him. He places his hand in Ishiki's body. Naruto finds all the chakra that he stole, and he goes, I'm taking all of these. Naruto rips out all the tail beasts out of Ishiki, and what makes him weak, it makes him to the point where he almost dies. He tried to grab Naruto to place a karma cell, but Naruto breaks his hand completely. He rips his hand off, both his hands. And Ishiki's like, what? Naruto grabs Ishiki's head and destroys his dojutsus with his hands, and removes his hands. And as Ishiki's he's armless and he's pretty blind, he's like, what? Then Naruto grabs his throat and he goes, this is your end, Ishiki Otsutsuki. Naruto chucks him away, and he does exactly what Momoshiki wanted to do to Kinshiki. Naruto opens his hands and absorbs Urushiki or Jigen and Urushiki's body and turns him into a chakra fruit. In doing so, Naruto sees this, and at first he wasn't going to eat it. He was not tempted at first, but he knows to stop evil, to stop the bad from spreading. Naruto eats the chakra fruit, and eating the chakra fruit, he looks like he gains his own form of karma, his own form of ability. And Naruto's Rinnegan turned blue, and the one on his head turned into a Ryan Sharingan, but a gold version of Ryan Sharingan. As Naruto's floating in the air, he's what happened to the Sage of 6 Power states, Naruto, you've done it. Not only have you defeated the Otsutsuki my mother was afraid of this whole time, but you still kept your promise to the Tail Beast. And Naruto flies over them, but he apologizes to all the Tail Beasts for not being there. Shikaku's the only one to speak up, goes, yeah, you fool. Next time, stop pulling seals on our area. We're fine. Naruto's like, yeah, Naruto bows to all the Tail Beasts and he apologizes dramatically. All of them accept it. And then what happens is, remember, there's only 8 of them, okay? The other bit is in Boruto. But this is when Naruto states, maybe it is best for you guys to be put into Jinchuriki host. What do you guys think? And Shikaku's like, well, I'm fine with it. That means we don't die, or get killed, or taken. It's all good by me. All the other tail beasts agree. And so what happened when Naruto goes, I'll pick your Jinchurikis from the individual villages. And Shikaku's like, to be fair, Naruto, we do not want to leave your side. Even if we get sealed into all the tuning, all the tunings in your village, I'm willing to accept that. And all the tail beasts actually listen to Shikaku. And the Shikaku and Kurama within Naruto, they're smiling, looking at their other halves, the younger versions of themselves outside Naruto's body. And so what happens, Naruto teleports all of them back to the Hidden Leaf, and they all appear. All the tail beasts land outside the village, of course. When Sasuke sees this is when Sasuke goes, Naruto. But when he looks at Naruto, Naruto looks absolutely godly, really powerful, like his chakra is just radiant, until the point where Naruto's like, what's happening? He goes, we defeated all the augments. Boruto rushes over to his dad, and Naruto understands exactly, he's proud of his son, he's proud of his team. He tells all the tail beasts in order to stay there. When Naruto goes to deal with the field lords, Sasuke goes, Itachi and Jiraiya hitting there, and Naruto goes, good. Naruto instantly time space there and lands right by Itachi and Jiraiya. This is when Itachi is actually walking through. As if Naruto was about to defeat Jiraiya's like, hey kiddo, and looks at Jiraiya, Naruto, and he's actually frozen. Naruto fully looks like a shining god. But what ends up happening is Itachi walks in, he activates his Eternal Mangekyo, so bear in mind, okay? Bear in mind, this is a way more powerful Itachi. And he does like a form of Koto Matsukabe. He does his own form of Koto Matsukabe on all the field lords. And at first it doesn't work until Naruto walks in and touches Itachi's back and puts some chakra into Itachi's Sharingan to allow him to actually do so. What ends up happening is all the field lords apologize. He forces the field lords to apologize for their actions, the insurrection. Naruto stated that he didn't want to come to this, but he does, and this is your fault, Naruto. Chucks Itachi outside. He opens the time space due to allowing Jiraiya and Itachi to land back in the village. When Itachi and Jiraiya sees this, what ends up happening, Naruto destroys the entire area. He destroys the entire area. He has a 2-second orb. He powers it up and he goes, I was going to let you guys live before you attacking my village and attacking all the other villages. You guys are more of a threat than you are of anything else. So from me to you and from all the other villages, I say goodbye. Naruto drops the 2-second orb, and as it hits the ground, it detonates and destroys everything. The only thing that's left standing there with Naruto is a huge crater. The explosion was so big, it's much reminiscent to a 10-tail Biju bomb. And as Naruto stands there, looks around, this is where he contacts all the Kage and states that he's going to promote Sasuke as the 8th Hokage. And not only that, he's going to take up the role as being the world Kage. All the Kage agree, even Sasuke. Naruto states that he was going to hit this from the Hidden Leaf Village, but it's kind of redundant. But all the Kage agree. They agree with Naruto doing it from the Hidden Leaf Village. So now Naruto builds his own form of palace above the Hokage monuments. And not only that, Sasuke becomes the 8th Hokage. Bear in mind, Sasuke is more powerful, and not only that, all the tail beasts get shielded within each of the students, you know. Sarada gets the 2 tails. Matatabi, what's it called? Shikaku, he goes with a normal tuning, to be honest. All the tail beasts get spread amongst themselves among all the tunings, but what happens is Naruto takes away the consequence of them getting killed when they pass the tail beast on to someone else. He removes that. All the tail beasts are cooperative and they help their Jinchuriki. They were happy with the idea of becoming a sage tail beast, but at the same time they felt vulnerable. Now being within Jinchuriki, they feel more safe and at home. All of them do. Even Killer Bee feels safe. Kyuki feels safe. He actually gets sealed within Shisui. And so Team 7 has the 2 tails, the 8 tails, and the 9 tails. Everyone else gets their own tail beast. And from there, everyone moves forward. Naruto is the world Kage, Sasuke is the 8th Hokage, and all the other Kages in the village celebrate as the world becomes unified in a massive peace. Naruto looks at the world and he's happy. And now he could feel like he could not relax, but endure the pain that he once told Nagato that comes with being living in this world. Pain always exists backwards and forth everywhere, but it's up to those with power to help it out. So as Naruto looks on and the world starts to progress over the few years, Naruto sees that the benefits of augmented humans, and not only that, the benefits of the jutsu, to the point where Naruto combines them in a sense with humans and chakra users and non-chakra users, then helps build up all the world together to a thriving planetary-wide society, and they all unify under the world Kage, and that's Naruto. He becomes the world Kage, or what I would say, Ao Kage. Ao is Ao for Māori, the Māori word that means world, and yeah, so Ao Kage or world Kage, okay? And so as Naruto looks down the world and is happy with all the progress that he's made, and happy with the results of his ideals, the sage of six paths walks to Naruto and tells him, hello kid. Naruto goes, hey Gramps, so tell me, did we break the cycle of your sons? And Haguro almost smiles. He goes, in a sense, yes you did. And Naruto goes, I'm sorry I didn't bring the peace that you wanted with Ninshu. And he goes, doesn't matter kid, you unified the world under a single rule, not power, but on cooperation. Unified, took away all the greedy people that actually made things worse. And Naruto goes, he's just looking, he's alright, he goes, there will always be bad in this world, but then again, you're always going to be here kid. Naruto smiles, yeah, that's a sad truth about it. I'm never going to die from this moment onwards. And he goes, as the responsibility of being the descendant of the sage of six paths, Naruto. Naruto looks at him and smiles. And he goes, well, at least the world's better off than Gramps. And he goes, very much so. And so as Naruto looks on with the sage of six paths, Naruto beckons and he smiles. And this is where I'll leave this What If, guys. I hope you guys liked this final installment of What If Naruto was raised by the sage of six paths final. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed making this What If. To be honest, this episode was the hardest episode for me to figure out, because I actually kind of mixed parts of the last episode to this one. Honestly, I kind of frustrated myself. But anyway, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you guys, all your support and everything like that. And just going to let you guys know, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a new What If. And if you guys haven't been listening to my Lightning Round What Ifs as of late, they're on my stream. You guys should come watch my stream if you guys want to know. The next Naruto What If is going to be, what if Team 7 traveled to the past, okay? And that's going to be the next one, alright? So I hope you guys like this. Please stay tuned, like and subscribe, and leave your comments always down below, okay guys? But yeah, as usual guys, this is Dr. Kahu saying peace.